Well, I took the plunge last week and decided I was going to buy myself a little compressor. This one was 168 quid off eBay. I had no idea what the make is. I know it's not a Yongheng, whatever they call them, but I think it's a copy of it. Apparently they come out of the same factory, but I don't know how true that is. Comes with a pressure gauge, obviously. You need that for topping up your guns. It's got a temperature gauge which actually plugs into the bit here. Got a little plunger thing that sticks in there. It doesn't come with batteries, you've got to put your own batteries in, which are little watch batteries. It takes 2 of them. Obviously you've got your on and off switch here. Just bend down there. It comes with 2 pipes, which, to be fair, are quite brittle. They're quite hard. As you can see, it's kinked from where they came out of the factory, but you can probably get them in a DIY or a garden centre, something like that, or an aquatic centre. Comes with a little pump, whatever I've done with it. This little pump here, you can actually alter the water flow by this little slide, but probably better just to keep it on full whack, really. It just comes with a probably American style plug, I suppose, which just plugs into the side here. The other plug is pretty much a shaver plug, but then you can always chop it off and put a proper plug on it. It's what I call a kettle end on it. Same as what you get on kettles. Just plugs into the side here. It comes with a whip. It comes with various attachments. It comes with a moisture filter, which I've got a little idea about this one. I'll take the top off in a minute and actually show you what's inside. It's got you have to replace this with whatever I've done with that. Just bear with. This is a bit that came with it, obviously for carriage reasons, because they're not allowed to send things out with oil, and this sticker that was stuck on there. So you replace it with a breathable one. It's a bit taller, got a couple of holes in either side here just for a breather tube. The oil level, quite explanatory really. Just says here just to fill him to the red dot, or just slightly on the red dot. I've changed the oil on this one probably about half hour ago. I've actually filled 2 tanks with it so far. It's got your normal tubes and little knobs on the side to release the air pressure. Where was this? It's somewhere under there's a switch here. I think it's just a reset switch. I only actually spotted it when I was changing the oil, so not quite sure what it does. The book that actually came with it is not for this model, but I've seen that many videos on YouTube. I knew how to work it anyway. It's not overly heavy. I don't know the weight of off the top of my hand. I've probably put a bit on the screen to say how heavy it is. The oil, it doesn't actually tell you what oil to use, but again, a bit of watching the ones on YouTube, it's got to be the hydraulic oil, VG46 normally it's called. Don't know what would happen if you put ordinary oil in it. Probably explode, I have no idea. But I think this was about 6 quid a litre off eBay, something like that. But it's actually cheap to buy a gallon. Varies between sort of a 12 and 20 quid a gallon. But it's worth, oh, excuse me, it's worth actually changing the oil. Maybe every 2 or 3 tanks you fill, just to make sure it keeps in tip-top condition and you know, not likely to go explode. No different to your car. You change your car and your oil in your car regularly, so we'll see what happens. It's got a little air filter here, obviously to stop any dust and shit getting into this bit here. The top bit on a lot of them, the actual the gauge is normally fitted onto here, so not quite sure why that's there. Obviously it does different models. So this is the oil and water filter. If you look inside here, there's just like a spongy ring that collects the water, and after filling a couple of tanks it actually did have water in the bottom, so I would suggest you actually keep this upright when filling tanks. I've seen many people and they've actually just got it laid on the ground, so any water probably would go through the sponge and into your tank. But I've got a little plan, sort of. With this spongy bit there, you can get a desiccant, which is a moisture absorbing thing, commonly known as silica gel. So I reckon if you put some silica gel in there and then put the top back on, excuse me, which also has another little filter, which it does come with a bag of filters and things, but some desiccant in here, or silica gel, and I think that will stop any moisture from getting into your tank. I will be experimenting with that to see what happens. So this is the oil after the first oil change. As you can see, it's fairly black in there. It doesn't actually hold a terrific amount. Don't know what that is in centilitres or whatever, but it's certainly not a lot. If I just show you the side of the bottle a minute. So this is from two oil changes. So we're talking what, 200 centilitres ish, maybe slightly under. So I've probably used half a bottle on 2 changes, or 2 oil fills I should say. So obviously it lasts a long time, obviously depends on how long you run the compressor. But obviously this was the first oil change, and that's after running the compressor for probably half hour. I filled 2 tanks in half hour, so not bad. But obviously it doesn't come with a oil filter, so changing the oil is a good idea. So these are the bits it comes with. Obviously you get quite a few filters. Obviously these ones here go in the bit that was stuck out that I showed you just now, and these are the ones that obviously go in the bottom. To be fair, I thought, you know, there's no way that's going to stop oil and water, but it did. So, but I'm still going to have a play around with the silica gel stuff. Comes with various little bits and bobs, but I think these cover quite a range of these compressors. Like I said, the manual wasn't even for this compressor, but it's got various little gadgets in here that you'll probably need. You will need probably one of these, which is a Foster to Foster fitting, which obviously will fit in the end of that. It's just got a little stopper plug in there at the moment, and then your diver tank one will fit into the other side. So you probably will need that depending on your setup. I think it was £6 off eBay, something like that. I can't remember the company I got it off, but I'll try and find that one out. So here we are, all rigged up, raring to go. Obviously in here is a little water pump, bucket of water. I keep this out here just to make sure that the water's continuously flowing and you can actually see it. Just got to connect the tank up to this bit here. Bear with, because I'm using my phone to do this. So this is what I mean about the Foster to Foster fitting. Obviously this is from the dive tank. Just pushes into this bit here. Not easy to do one-handed. So there we are, that's connected in. So I'm just going to find something just to hold this upright. Like I said, just make sure there's no water getting into that. So we'll spark him up in a minute and see where we go. So we just plugged him in. Obviously the water runs first without it even being turned on because it's plugged into the side. So just wait for any bubbles to pass through. You can still see the few bubbles coming through there. Just make sure it's getting a really good water flow. So got my stopwatch ready there. There's not many bar to put in this because I just drained a bit off just to show you how it works really. So just release the valve, start him up. Temperature going up. It's not overly loud really. compressor and turn the dive bottle off. Nothing got hot, tank was cool, so everything good. So my impressions are on this, I think it's going to be quite good for my use anyway. Only time will tell if it stands up to the I suppose heavy work of filling up a dive bottle. I think they're mainly for filling up the reservoir on your gun rather than a dive bottle, but people haven't been having any problems with them, so we'll see how it goes. Thank you very much for watching.